The sun was about to set. John was driving home after the same regular long day of work. He was feeling exhausted. It was now a very monotonous and boring routine for him. He was in his early 30s, working for a software company and living in a coastal city in the United States of America. He worked for 6 days in a week, and on weekends he used to spend time on the beach, and sometimes he often had some small vacation plans. Like the majority, he also was not satisfied with his job and lifestyle, and often used to think, is this all what his life is all about? He wanted to explore the world, do stupid stuff full of uncertainties, and have some moments that almost take his breath away. But he neither had the courage nor the time to do so. He felt like a robot who was just paid for work. He often questioned himself, what is the purpose of my existence? Have I done anything significant in my life? Anything that counts? Anything worth living for? Is there anyone who looks up to me? Had I caused any positive change in anyone's life? Do I inspire anyone? All these questions wandered inside his head. Physically tired and mentally exhausted, he arrived home and fell straight on his bed. He had a very deep sleep that night. He woke up and checked his cell phone. It was 9:30 a.m. in the morning, and he had 8 missed calls from his boss. He immediately realized that he was in big trouble. He just missed a very important meeting which was scheduled at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. He called his boss, but the call was not picked. His heart started pounding at an increasingly rapid pace. He immediately got off the bed, emptied his bladder, put on his shoes, and rushed downstairs to his car and started for his office. He reached there and went inside the cabin of his boss, but he was not there. He called him again, and this time he picked up and asked him to wait for him in the office. John waited there. So much was going on through his head. He was constantly cursing himself for being so irresponsible. After waiting for 3 hours, he got a mail from his boss which said, Dear John, I would like to inform you that the company has faced some serious losses because of your irresponsible behavior. You had been pre-informed about this meeting. You were supposed to be in the office at 8 a.m. sharp, but you didn't came and didn't even picked up the call. The clients waited for you, and after half an hour, they left in anger and disappointment. The business deal got cancelled and the company faced monetary loss. Moreover, all this was very shameful for the company. Such irresponsible behavior cannot be tolerated. People like you are not fit for the reputation of the company, and we have to say you an early goodbye. You are no longer an employee of this company. You're fired. Please don't call me again for any explanation. I have asked the security to help you out of there. Positively, do not show your face again. Thank you. That mail hit him like a nuclear bomb. For a moment, every part of him paused. A sense of shiver ran down his spine, and his muscles tightened out of fear. He was totally stunned, unable to speak, and trying to remember how to breathe. He saw 2 men from security section approaching him, and before he could understand anything, he was tossed out of the office. He stood there for some time in a complete state of amazement. Everything happened so quickly that he was unable to absorb. It took him some time to realize that he actually just lost his job and he had no idea what to do now. He was hungry. He went to a nearby restaurant and ordered food for himself. Then he went to a bar and ordered beer. He returned home late night, sad and drunk. He slept for some time at home and then got out for a walk on the beach, which was just outside his home. He walked for some time and sat there, alone near the seashore, watching the tides float on the surface of huge Pacific Ocean and gently washing his feet. The sound of waves echoed his heart, and the breeze blowed the tension out of his bones. The soft sky above, with the dim moonlight and the cold sand under feet, gently released his tension. It was midnight. Everything was quiet. And then he saw something bizarre, something that shattered the silence of the night. A boat arrived at the shore, and a gun got off the boat and collapsed on the sand. John ran towards her and saw her lying unconscious on the sand. She was cold and had a cut on her head. The blood was leaking over her nose and freshly cold lips. She had wounds all over her body, as if she was running away from someone who wanted to hurt her. She also had a small bag with her. John immediately wrapped his t-shirt around her head and took her to his house. The girl was not in a very good condition. John immediately wiped out the blood with cotton and used first aid kit to treat her wounds. He then covered her with a blanket and switched on the electric heater to provide her some warmth. The girl was still unconscious, so he took a cup of water and slightly began to pour it in her mouth. He also sprinkled some water on her face, and suddenly she started to cough and breathe heavily. And finally, she regained consciousness and opened her eyes and saw John in front of her. She started to panic and with a trembling voice asked, "Where am I? What place is this? And where's my bag?" She tried to run, but John grabbed her and shouted, "You are safe! Just relax. You are safe. You are in my house and your bag is also safe." He showed her the bag, which was kept by the side of the wall. The girl took a deep breath of relaxation and calmed down a bit after seeing the bag. She gazed at John with a sense of wonder. Her gaze was intense. Her eyes had an irresistible charm. Her complexion was beautiful. Her skin soft like a child, and her hair magma red, trembling over her shoulders. Her pain, clearly visible in her eyes, was illuminating his soul. He asked her, "Who are you? And what happened to you? Should I call the cops to help you?" "No!" the gun shouted. "Please don't call the cops." "Are you a criminal?" John inquired. "No, I'm not a criminal," she answered. "Then tell me, who are you? And why are you the way you are? What's the matter with you?" He asked. "My name is Victoria, and I am..." Before she could say anything else, they both saw a boat arrived at the shore, and 6 men armed with weapons got off the boat. The girl's face turned white with fear. She urged him, "Please save me from these people. They are the one I'm running from. They will kill me. It's a life or death situation. Please help me hide." John got scared like hell. He immediately asked her to hide in the cupboard behind the clothes and hid her bag inside the same cupboard and then locked it. He threw on the cotton in the dustbin from which he wiped out the blood and covered it with other stuff. He started to clean the place and suddenly heard a bang at his door. He tried to act very normal and asked, "Who is it?" He opened the door and found 6 men loaded with guns staring at him. "Where's the gun?" one of them shouted. "What gun are you talking about? I live here alone," he answered. One of them kicked him on his chest and all 6 men entered the house. "Who are you? And what do you want?" "I don't know any gun," he shouted. One of them pointed a gun at his head and said, "Shut your bloody mouth, or I will shove the bullets into your head." They started searching everywhere, destroying his home. But by luck, no one checked the cupboard. His heart was pounding because if they found the gun, they would kill both of them. After searching everywhere, one of them said, "Let's go! There's no one here!" They all left his house without saying anything. John took a deep breath of relaxation and opened the cupboard. His hands were still shaking due to fear. With a trembling voice, he asked, "For God's sake, would you let me know what the hell is going on in my house?" "I am on a mission," she answered. "A mission for my country, Russia." She showed her bag. There was a gun and a pen drive inside it. She further added, "The pen drive contains some secret information and plans of a terrorist organization, and this needs to be delivered to Russia as soon as possible. Those men who were searching for me, they were the terrorists, and we can't even inform the police because their agents are everywhere in the city. You saved my life, but I cannot stay here for long. They will come back, and I need you to help me to deliver this to my country. Otherwise, thousands of innocent people will die. Please help me. It's a life or death situation. I cannot trust anyone else here." What will John do? His boring life suddenly turned into a deadly adventure.